Hi everyone, how are you? This is Rosemary Massaro, Craft with Ro, and I so appreciate you partaking in our add-on class. So those that had purchased the class in advance, you all received a full packet of our Weekend Adventures paper. You received a package of embellishments, these embellishments, and you also received some twine. Beigey color, linen twine. So, Lisa, Jen, and I had so much fun collaborating on this add-on class that I'm very excited to be sharing with you. I have created a double-page layout for my add-on class and a really cute, fun fold card that we'll be creating today on this live. So, if you are still interested and love what we've created, but missed out on the workshop package, you still have an opportunity to purchase the assembly guide. You're going to get 6 projects, full PDF tutorial color, and in addition to that, the links to this video where you'll be able to reference this on all of our YouTube channels. So I will link those recordings to the description of this video so you can watch Jen and Lisa's. Now, if you're partaking in our Schmore Crafting virtual weekend, August 1st and 2nd, this weekend, then obviously we'll be posting a lot of these details right on in that group. So it's a free virtual weekend. If you're interested, please reach out to any one of us and ask how you can get informed of our upcoming virtual events. My email address is craftwithro@gmail.com, and love to share with you additional information about upcoming events. So let's get crafting. So here is the fun page. It's actually a simple page, but there's a little some detail components to this. So we will be creating both of these pages, and then we'll create that fun fold card as well. I have all we need set aside in this packet. But the first 2 pieces that we're going to go with are these basic beige pieces of cardstock. Now, all the measurements that you need to recreate this card, these layouts, are in the tutorial. So I'm not going to be going over measurements with you, but I'm going to be sharing with you some really fun techniques. Just grabbing some of my inking blocks, which I forgot to bring over with me, and some scrap paper. Actually, let me grab... That was a challenge. Here we go. So the first thing we're going to do on these 2 pages is we are going to create a wooded background technique, and it's going to be random stamping. And what I love about this particular stamp is that you don't have to be perfect with it. There's no obvious flaws when stamping. So it is really an easy stamp. We are featuring in our weekend crafting, craft along is our Weekend Adventures stamp set and our Scenic Adventures stamp set. So I'm actually using both of these stamps within this page layout, and we're going to use this stamp right here to create that kind of wood textured look. And I am going to be stamping with Early Espresso. This is our beige cardstock. Actually, one looks, I guess they have the same color. It must be the lighting. And it's our two-tone cardstock. I am choosing to stamp on the darker side, which is known as the true side. And literally all we're going to do is stamp all the way up on both pieces and across. And it is such an easy stamp process. And you don't have to worry if it doesn't come all the way across evenly. You can always overstamp and you'll never know that you've over or double stamped. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. See, I'll show you right here. We're just gonna go right over there and you can't even tell. So you don't have to worry about perfection. Quite simple. I probably should have stamped one of these so they didn't have to watch me stamp both of them. See, now I'm rushing, but I love that you can just stamp right over and you can't even tell. I remember when I was first doing this, I'm like trying to rotate it across like this, and then like this, and then follow up over here. But you don't even need to do that. I love that it brings out that extra little dark shade. By the time I'm done with this project, this pad's going to definitely need to be re-inked. But how simple is this, right? Just creates that your own patterned paper, your own textured look. And it gives you a look of wilderness. So each of our projects will be presented on our YouTube channels. The links will be added to the descriptions on these videos so that you can go back and watch it at any time. Now, if you're a part of our group, then you'll have up to 30 days to watch it there and to check. But if anybody has recreated it, and you'll see my creation there as well. So you'll have that added inspiration. Feel free to use your own stamps. Create your own look. It's what it's all about. All right, so we have our one right there. Now we're going to do our second one. And I guess I'll start coming from the top to the bottom. Just to be different. Oh, don't want that extra gap. So this layout is perfect for summer. Sharing what your summer vacation adventures were. Whether you guys went camping or hiking or just taking in all the beautiful scenery. Definitely going to ink on the side here because it does look like my center of my ink pad is drying out. And I'm pretty sure I have this re-inker, So share in your comments some of the adventures and things that you have done this summer. I know in many states like Florida, like I'm in, believe it or not, school starts next week here already. Is that crazy or what? I know I'm originally from Rochester, New York, upstate New York, and school never started until right after Labor Day. Very, very seldom would we start the week before Labor Day. It really depended on when Labor Day fell, the holiday. And I did live in Pennsylvania for a short time as well. And sure enough, we didn't start until the end of the month of August as well. So, it's crazy for me to think. But then, the kids do get out of school much earlier here in Florida than they do up in the Northeast area. When do your schools start for your kids? All right. See how I'm getting a much darker imprint when I'm going off to the side of my ink pad? Definitely a sign of re-inking is needed. All right, almost done, guys. Thanks for your patience on this. I think maybe 4 more stamps. 1, 2. Oh, see, I jinxed myself. Perfect. Kathy, Gwen, if you're watching, that's going to crack me up laughing because I think of you every time I say perfect now. I didn't realize how often I said it. All right, so we got that stamping done on that. Now we can start creating one of the pages. So I'm going to set this aside. And the components that you're going to need is one of these die cut strips. We're going to need our stamped, our gingham paper. This is from the Weekend Adventures. I'm going with Very Vanilla. We have some photo mats here on this page, and then a ton of accent pieces, which some of them I just see fell to the bottom of that bag, so we'll grab them out when we need them. And like I said, all the approximations are right in the assembly of where we're going to be adhering on our pages here. So, grab some adhesive. And our first strip is not this one, but we'll get the adhesive on here since I've already started. Is our buffalo plaid paper. And I have to tell you, looking at this paper, this is a great rustic holiday paper as well. I have done quite a bit of rustic cards with this paper. I absolutely love it. All right, now we can put this in. And I am just guesstimating. But like I said, the specific measurements are available to you in the assembly guide. And then we can add on our pre-die cut. That's what I did, but your instructions show you how to die cut this. You're, excuse me. You're going to be die cutting with this double tree. But I love the fact that you have the opportunity to do this little single tree as well. So we're going to add this on. And when you die cut these trees out, right, you want to save them. Put them aside. You're going to need one for the for my fun fold card as well. So I just loved that way that look came out underneath our textured paper. Now we're going to create our photo mat. We're going to mount that right on here. And I do want to let you know that when you are cutting this paper and this paper, make sure that you're cutting within the same direction. I guess it really doesn't matter on this one because it's a random stamp. But on this one, you want your trees stamped upward, showing upward. See what I mean? I mean, this is a great Christmas paper too. Love that blue kind of galaxy look right there. And we're going to add that to go right about there. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. All right, so now I have some stamping to do. So we're going to be stamping on these dots, and those dots are in your Weekend Adventure stamp set. If you don't have a random dot stamp set like that, am I going blind? Where is it? Did I put it on the wrong? I don't even see it on here. Oh, here it is. Duh. Boy. This is my third video today, guys, because I am pre-recording this. It's been a crazy. So the two stamp pads that I'm using are our Mossy Meadow and our Pecan Pie. I am randomly stamping some dots. I'm going to stamp them up in this corner right here. And then I'm going to stamp some right in our lower corner right here. And we're going to use both of these colors. And like I said, I am literally just randomly stamping. And this one, random stamp on the lower right-hand corner. I am grabbing my chamois. Look how well loved that guy is. Probably should invest in some new ones, but gosh, they wash so nicely. Just don't put them in the dryer. And they really do help keep your stamps clean. So we're going to go with now our Pecan Pie, and I'm just going to go randomly right there. And we're going to do the same here. And if I need to, based on the positioning of this, which I think is pretty good, I can always go and add some more stamps after. now let's put our title on. And again, our title is coming from our Weekend Adventure stamp. I am using the beautiful, it's becoming one of my favorites. It definitely goes fantastic with this paper collection, is the Cajun Craze. And we are going to stamp Adventure Starts Here. Make sure I got a good impression. Looks like I'm pretty good there, right? And I am going to go right, but try to go between the center of here and here. Fantastic. I'm going to try to replace the word perfect with fantastic. All right, you can put that away. We are done with that stamp. And now we are just going to add some of the details. So we have some journaling we're going to add to here, some accent pieces, but I want to share with you when cutting these accent pieces. Okay, we're going to need 2 trees. We're going to need some mountains, and we're going to need our journaling, our 3 strips of journal. And then I know I got to grab some of my flames, and my little log details went to the bottom of that other back. So we'll grab that after. So when cutting these details out, I want to share with you when you cut, the type of cutting image you're getting. Here's one of my logs. So you're going to line this die cut. Look at the detail on that grass, right? So you're going to line that die right to about, I think it's like 3/4 of an inch on your paper, on your cardstock that's provided for you in your kit. And then you're just going to move it over and line it up some more for this particular pattern. And then you just cut the ends off, bring it to the end. And that's the same with our mountains here, right? You line it up, and it really depends on how tall you want your mountain. So for here, I'm going to trim off here, but I want this to come just a little bit longer. So I'm going to cut to right about there. And our biggest challenge is when we're putting our second page together, we are going to want to make sure that the ends of these mountains carry over from one page to the other page. So we'll leave that one for that. And we have our mat down there. We want to put our journal strips first. Again, I'm just using the basic beige, and I'm going to not evenly space these. I kind of want them a little random. Meaning I want them evenly spaced this way, but not necessarily all on the same line. Let's make sure that that's straight. And one more. All right, now we're going to add our photo mat here. And because I don't have my picture with me at this point, I can either cut my picture to be the exact same dimension of this, or I can only just put a little bit of adhesive right in the center there so it's easily to be pulled off. And I'm going to line that up to go pretty evenly spaced from top to bottom. And then now I got to add my beautiful grass die cut. And it's measured exactly 6 inches. Oh, it might be 5.5. And I don't want to put adhesive on the top part here because I want to make sure I can get my photo in. And I guess I can. Maybe I will. I'm going to put dimensionals right on the end here. I think that'll work perfect. Those are optional. I'm going to use my mini dimensionals because I don't want it to bump in or interfere with my photos when I go to put them on. And just to make sure that I'm not putting it on the photo, instead of putting the dimensional on your die cut piece, just place it on your layout so you know that it's not going to interfere. I hope that makes sense. And I'm just going to line that up. And that'll be perfect to be able to add my extra trees and just tuck them right in underneath here. So again, I don't want to put adhesive over here, but we're going to put adhesive on the right side of the image, depending on which way you're looking at it, right? I'm just going to add that right there. And then we'll add our other one right here. And on this side, we're going to put the adhesive on the right side of the die cut. Perfect. So as you guys can see, these are all open and available for me to be able to insert my photo when I'm ready to place that in there. Okay, now we can add our mountain, which I've pre-cut already, and I'm just going to add that right over to the edge. Just going to leave probably a 1/4 of an inch. Maybe I'll go a little farther, only because of my dots and my journaling. And obviously, you're so flexible with that positioning of this. We're just going to want to make sure that when we create our right side of this layout, that this side is going to mirror up with the other mountain because it's a carryover. And I think I'll put little more dots right there. Perfect. Okay, so now we have to add our cute little fire logs and flame. How cute are these guys, right? And your kit does provide the cardstock to be able to die cut this if you chose to get the add-on. But again, make sure you're using your own stash as well. So I'm using liquid glue here because it's tiny and small. Actually, I am going to be using the dimensionals, the mini dimensionals. And that sheet is out. I'm going to save that. I always save the edging pieces as well. I don't let anything go to waste. But we're going to we're going to add that right in the center there. Right, kind of reflects as a nice little bullet point. Yeah. Probably should have cut that in half, but we can tuck that in. I'm going to put a little bit of glue dot right there. Slide that right underneath. All right, we'll grab our next one. And this one we will cut in half. I'm using my non-stick scissors. And my tweezers because it's small. Put that right in there. And I think that's one thing I love about this page layout is all the little details that are there. Again, I'm going to add my little glue dot right there. Much easier to work with. And then slide that right underneath. And then we have one more, but I got to find the logs. And like I said, I think they're still in this mystery bag here. Yep. And I'm going to take the other half of that dimensional that I used. Much easier. Maybe not with my thick nails, but oh, fudge it. We are gonna just cut another one right in half. For me, it's all about the details. And we will add, oh my gosh. Our last log right there. Add our little flame. And then we just have to embellish. Almost put that on upside down. Look at all the detail in that, guys. Can you guys see the detail in those flames? I love these accents that they added to these die cuts. So when you're cutting, it's just amazing. So I do want to share with you guys that there are these cute little flowers die cuts as well. We're going to be using that on my fun fold, but I could have actually added some flowers on here as well. Just letting you know that you have options. All right, now we're going to put some of our embellishments on. These came in your kits as well, the adhesive back metallic. And depending on what color you want to use, I typically, on this one, I went more towards the bronze. do one more. All right, we have our first page completed, and now we can go to the second page. And that's the other thing that I like about scrapbooking. When you're creating complementary pages, your second page always goes much quicker. Much, much quicker. All right, so here is our second page, right? 4 photos. We got additional stamping to do and some accents. So let's get started on that. Right? So we have our very vanilla page. That's going to get covered, so I won't worry about it. I guess I could move it over to the other. Just keep it that way. All right, so we're going to put our buffalo plaid down. And here's where I'm suggesting that we need to make sure that your first page is lining up with your second page. So, this is the page I just created, right? Now, if you're using a grid or you're using the tutorial, the PDF that we shared with you, that I provided you, then you'll know the exact measurements to line up. But because I don't have my grid here, because it's just, my mat takes up way too much room. So we're gonna go right like that. And while I have my mountain here, I'm going to attach my accent piece of my mountain. And that is going to line up right there. So I actually measured that on the cardstock pretty darn good. And then I'm just going to go... just like that. We're going to line that up right here. I have to tuck some trees in, so I'm not going up on the upper part of the mountain. And I also want to share with you on this set, which I love, 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 is that we have a smaller accent piece. So you can add another point to your mountain as another option. Just trying to give you guys options. All right, so now we're going to add our pre-stamped right? And again, I'm going to go right about there. We're going to do some of our stamping again. I didn't think that wanted to come open. All right, so we're gonna go here, and then I want to go. Oops, doesn't look like I got. We're gonna go here. We'll get our pecan out. Add some additional dots, spots, and they're just accents. They're nice. I love that when they give us little stamps like this to provide the additional accent that we can. I love when they overlap. We got just a little bit more stamping to do, but let's put our photo mats in place. And again, these are just placement holders for my photos. So I'm only putting just a little bit of adhesive, and I'm lining them up. And what I do for the most part, I didn't do that one very well, is I look from corner to corner, and for some reason that seems to make it line up really nicely. But because I only have a little bit of adhesive on here, it's easy for me to take that off. Realign. And I think my adhesive is running low. See if we can get through this project. And last but not least, so I just look from corner to corner. And that works for me. Almost a charm every single time. And we're going to add our photo mat. We're going to just go about 1/4 of an inch from the side here. And again, remember I didn't put any adhesive on the top here so that I could tuck these in just a little. And I have to remember, compared to my other sheet, this one this mountain got placed just a little bit lower. I'm gonna go about 1/4 of an inch up. Oh, maybe 1/2 an inch. All right, so I think I'm gonna want a little bit more dots right here. Just want to move this up so it doesn't get on my platform there. And we can add our die cut piece, what we created, this strip here. Oh, that's sticking. All right. So I'm going to line that up. Again, just about 1/4 of an inch from the side here. And now we can stamp our sentiment. We can put our little trees on here. I'm only putting the adhesive on the bottom. My nails are way too thick. So we can tuck that picture right underneath. And we're going to do the same with the other one. This one's going to go down just a little bit lower. Just want that piece just to go slightly down. There we go. Just wanted the bottom of this tree tucked underneath. There we go. Perfect for our pictures. And we're going to stamp. Now the sentiments that I'm grabbing for is taking the scenic route, and we're doing some little Xing here as well. So we are taking from the Weekend Adventures stamp set. And I'm using Early Espresso on the main sentiment. All right, just got to clean off that just a little bit more. I'm gonna practice stamp that. So remember that my ink is drying out, so I have to ink from the sides. There we go. And we're going to be stamping that. Oops. Do not want that ink to come off. All right, I think we got a good impression. We're going to go taking the scenic route. Then we're taking these little X's from the Weekend Adventure stamp as well. And it is a small stamp set, and my block actually has lines on here. So I'm going to line that up right on those lines evenly. And that's how I'm going to get a straight line across and underneath my title there. So I'm going to start right from here. And then I'm going to grab the arrow, which is right here. And we're going to do that in Mossy Meadow as well. Sorry about that. I think I just hit the camera. Trying to make sure I get all my stuff straight and even. And again, let's try to get that straight underneath the root. Fantastic. I know I have a ton of stamps to be cleaning up. So we are going to add this. Again, I'm going to add this with some dimensionals. Normally I would use, oh, actually, I am going to use the edge of here. And line that right up under here. Placement, you can go up, farther down. I'm just kind of offsetting it to the center. We're going to add some of our metallic gems. And we have our second page done. How perfect is that? Mirrors up to our first page. And there you have a fantastic adventure weekend page layout. So to keep this moving right along, I am going to create our our fun fold card. I had a ton of fun creating this. So here is our fun fold card that came along with your kit, along with the fantastic projects that Lisa and Jen have provided you as well. There's some 3D projects, I know, so make sure you check them out. I believe there's some additional fun folds as well. And here's the inside of my card. That's why I suggested that you save that extra piece. And you'll still have extra cheese after you make the page layout. And then we have this fun little flip fold right in the center of this card. So we are going to, again, all your dimensions, your cutting pieces are in your tutorial. So let's just create the outside of this page right here. Again, when cutting your paper, make sure it is directional wise, that your trees are pointing upward. This is just going to get centered here. Again, point to point is a really good rule of thumb. Right? We're going to put that aside. Actually, we can put the inside of our card base together. We can get the simple stuff out of the way. Put our little tree on the inside. Now here, you can put adhesive on the whole amount. I'm not tucking anything behind it. And that's going to go right there. Great place for your sentiment. And now we can create our fun fold card, which this is going to get captured right on top there. I have used the Textured Notes die on here. And the last I knew it was low inventory again. It could be sold out again, but these Textured Notes dies come in a set of 6 or 7 awesome die cuts. I might be wrong on that number. But I mean, this die set will be with me for a very, very long time. I love all the trimming on the outside of them are all different on each set. We're going to stamp this in Mossy Meadow. You're amazing. And that is a part of the Scenic Adventure die set. This is a much bigger block than I normally would use, but we're going to go with it since it's available right here. we're going to stamp this towards the top. And then we're going to add our accent piece. So here again, the way these flowers are cut, right? You just need to cut along the edge of the paper. And depending on whether you're going to tuck these in or not, which these ones I am, this one's going to right on the bottom of the inside of my card. So I left a smaller gap there, and we're just going to pop that out. Same with this. Watch how easy these pop right out. Because these two have to get tucked. So we're done with that piece. And then we have our grass meadow again. Again, from the same stamp set, Scenic Adventure. I'm getting Weekend Adventures and Scenic Adventures mixed up. All right, so that's going to go right here. But we're going to be putting flowers underneath, and we're going to do some trimming as well. Right, so I am going to add some dimensionals. Just so I can do some tucking. And I am going to position these dimensionals right towards the bottom here, and then I'm going to do some trimming. Right, we're going to put that right along the edge there. Oops, I got to take the tops off of them. Duh. All right, we're going to go right like this. Line it right up to the bottom. These are the two pieces that we're going to tuck right underneath. So I'm putting adhesive just along the edge there. All right, we're going to tuck that. Oops, I got some extra little pieces I got to clean out there. There we go. So I'm going to tuck that right there nicely. Same here, adhesive only on the bottom edge. Oh, look at how that G is fitting in there perfectly. Perfectly. Well, you know what? I do need to line it up right along that edge. All right, and I just have to do a little bit of trimming, the excess. Really not much on that side. And this is going to get lined up right in the center there. Oh, there's my adhesive. I could tell it was getting tight to pull. All right, and now we have just breathe and take it slow. So we're going to stamp that on the inside. Again, I'm using Mossy Meadow. Obviously, you can use black. You can use the Early Espresso with this color combination with so many different options. And we're going to go right. See if I can get this straight and on camera for you. And we are going to take this piece here, and I got to get more adhesive. So the advantages of having a very small studio is everything is only 1 or 2 feet away from you. I'm going to slide that in. So everybody asks me, why do I not use the Stampin' Seal? It's only because I bought a ton of this because it's being discontinued. So I'm using this before I have to use my Stampin' Seal. I'm going to put that right towards the bottom there. This is going to go on the inside of this card. And I just messed up this adhesive. Come on, we were doing so good. No bloopers, nothing. And let's just hope that this goes. There we go. Whew. And so easy. This is just going to go on the center top here. Just makes for a very simple, fun fold card. You're amazing. Just breathe and take it slow. And a nice little. So this is a great card to congratulate somebody on retirement. You know, slow down, take it slow now that you're retired. Somebody who's just doing a great job. Somebody who may be feeling overwhelmed. But here you go. We got 2 great cards and we created a double page layout. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Again, make sure that you like and subscribe to our page. Comments are very much appreciated. And don't forget to check out Lisa and Jen's videos as well. Ciao.